Welcome, Lumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. My name's Jonty, and you are in the Inkwell, along with 11 new cards from Rise of the Floodborn. We are most definitely thick in the middle of spoiler season. Let's crack straight on. First of all, a 2-costed, uninkable 1/2 for 2 lore in Emerald, Queen of Hearts, quick-tempered. When you play this character, deal 1 damage to chosen damaged opposing character. This, I think, is the last one we needed to see from the promotional material, at least on the packaging of the packs, at least. I think maybe there's still a Shere Khan on the side of one of the boxes that we haven't seen yet, but awesome artwork from Matthew Robert Davis on this common that I think is actually pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, a 2 cost for 2 lore is always worth looking at, and here you're going to be able to ping a damaged thing, probably using this alongside the new beast that readies when something is damaged. It's Vicious Betrayal, is that the card? You can tell how much it sees play because I can't even remember what it's called. Stampede I was thinking of, sorry. Deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. I mean, that one obviously doesn't see play, it's not a very good card, but if this one just has this on the enter the board and then sticks around for 2 lore, I don't think this is terrible. This could see play in the right side of the deck, I think. Next up, a 7-costed, uninkable 3/6 for 3 lore, Grand Pabby. The old and wise, I think that will be. Sage is wise. So a lot of these came out from France today. I can read French pretty well. My son goes to a French school. I try and keep on top of it very much. So I'll do my best to work through these with you. But if anything turns out to be incorrect, I'll update you in a future video. Ancient knowledge. Whenever you remove 1 or more damage from one of your characters, you gain 2 lore. I mean, this seems really strong. And is basically the top end for all of this stuff we're seeing recently that cares about healing. There's going to be a Sapphire Amber Big Butts deck that this is going to be smashed into so much. Pretty solid stat line, obviously uninkable because that is a really good ability, I think. You know, this doesn't say 1 or more of your characters, it just says 1 character, I think, as long as I'm translating it correctly. So this, you know, Hakuna Matata comes down and heals multiple things. You're going to be gaining 4, 6, 8 lore, maybe. Obviously, you're going to find yourself struggling to get damage on characters here because if people see the deck that you're going to play, they're only going to want to damage stuff when they kill it. So it's going to be up to you to play aggressively and get some damage on your big-butted characters so that you can really see the payoff with this. But I do actually think this is a really good card and it basically is the new top end of a new deck we're seeing formed here with set 2. Very exciting stuff. Next up, a 5-costed uninkable. Lots of uninkables this morning. Uninkable 2/2 for 2 lore in Emerald, Lucifer. Something cat. I don't know what that word is. It's something cat. His name's something cat. His ability is hunts mouse. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and discards 2 cards or 1 action card. I think that is. That's, again, seems very good. 5-costed uninkable for a 2/2 for 2. I mean, that's really not well statted. I suppose the ability is just very good, though. At the end of the day, a 4-costed Amber card in You Have Forgotten Me discards 2, and this is doing that on Enter the Battlefield. This could go very nicely into a discard build with Prince John. Also, probably not a terrible bounce option for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo or any of the Amethyst bouncing stuff. I think this is a really great ability. I think it's just an expensive card to slot into a deck. You have to think that this is going in the same sort of slot as Kuzco's, you know, as a lot of other 5-drops that we've seen recently. Really good ability, though, and, you know, definitely a build around, especially if you're going to be able to draw off their cards with Prince John. I do feel like Prince John is the new Rockstar Stitch in that, like, anything that fits alongside him we we want to do. But, yeah, I think that's pretty good, but maybe a little overcosted to see really competitive play. We'll see. Next up, this is possibly some of the best art I have ever seen on a card in Lorcana. Julia Riva has done amazing work with this. I mean, she's one of my favorite artists from the sets anyway. And Lumi A is one of my favorite characters from all of Disney lore. This is absolute fire, and I very much intend that pun. Sadly, the card itself isn't particularly interesting. It's a 7-costed inkable 7/7 for 2 lore in Ruby. That's it. It's a vanilla rare. There's obviously going to be a Ruby build that cares about damaging your own characters and then gaining benefits from them. We're going to see another card that does that sort of stuff in a moment, and obviously some of the Ratigan stuff seems to be around that way as well, Dinner Bell. So this could well find its way into something like that. But honestly, it's 7 ink. I want something that's a little bit more impactful. Such a shame. Incredible art. Very much looking forward to seeing a foil of it. I think the fire's going to look amazing on foil. But as far as the abilities go, pretty dull. This next one is very interesting. This is Chip, interestingly called Zip in French. Innocence. I don't know what the other word is. Innocent. It's not boy. I don't know. Innocent something. Chip is innocent. He's a 1-costed inkable 2/2 for 1 lore. Storyborn ally in Amethyst. This is fascinating because this is Archimedes. So this is, I genuinely think this might be the first, direct functional reprint we've seen. In as much as same color, same abilities. I suppose the only difference is Archimedes is Dreamborn and this is Storyborn. So technically not a full, complete, direct reprint. So a lot of people are going to probably look at this and think, why does this need to exist? I actually quite like the fact this exists because this means that they are building these sets with a limited environment in mind. It means that they are looking at things like draft and things like limited in as you taking 6 packs and building a deck, and actually making sure that the each set on its own, without other sets before or after it, will work in their own sort of bubble, and that to me is very exciting. I quite enjoy limited play. I'm not very good at it, but I do think it is important for the health of a game to have a healthy limited environment. So I'm very happy to see stuff like this. You're not going to love opening it in packs, but if you're sitting drafting, sometimes a 1-costed 2/2 is all you need. So yeah, I'm happy to see this chip, and it's cool art as well from Aubrey Archer. Next up, a 2-costed inkable 3/2 for 1 lore in Sapphire Carella Deville. Carella Hell, I guess her name is in French. That's pretty neat. I didn't know that. Collector. I'm not sure what some of the adjectives I don't know. I'm sorry. En route, during your turn, this character gains evasive. So this is a 3/2 that gains evasive on your turn. Thematically very on point because this kills Pongo. Alternate ending there for Conjure 1 Dalmatians. Carella Deville runs over Pongo, but obviously, banishes herself in the process, so, blows up the car while she's at it. Fine, nothing to write home about here. This is just, again, probably we'll see play in limited environments, and, maybe could be an answer for evasives, but I don't feel like evasives were crazy broken in set 1, and so far we've not seen any more in set 2, so I don't know whether this card really is going to be doing that much for you. Next up, Sword in the Anvil. I'm going to guess this is just Sword in the Stone, and that's what they call it in French, but it does translate to Sword in the Anvil. You can an item, 1-costed uninkable item in Ruby. You can exert it and pay 2 ink. Chosen character gains +1 strength for each damage token that's on him and on them, until the end of the turn. Okay, so let me read that again. Sorry, that was terrible. 2-costed, 1-costed inkable. Geez, it's been a very long day. This is very early in the morning, and I'm going to do another long day, so bear with me. Exert, pay 2. Chosen character gains +1 strength for each damage token on them. I feel like this is the first time we've really heard mention of damage tokens. Like I know the game gives you tokens and damage is counted by tokens, but I didn't think it was like in the rules talked as tokens, so that's interesting. But yes, basically the weaker this thing, the stronger it gets, and it can be used to it basically gives all of your rush characters, all of your things that are just hitting hard, like that Lumi A we just saw, basically gives them another go. It gets rid of a huge thing before they bow out. Will this play? I don't know. It seems like Lorcana is doing the opposite of Magic the Gathering and making all their swords pretty terrible, whereas swords in Magic are always really good. 2-costed inkable 1/1 for 2 lore in Emerald Enchantress. She's a Dreamborn sorcerer, I guess that. Is that the first Emerald sorcerer we've seen? Assuming that mage is not a new keyword. And this is True Appearance. Whenever this character is challenged, this character gets +2 strength. Common by Isaiah Mesk. This is amazing for multiple reasons. First of all, I love the card. I actually think a 2-costed 1/1 for 2 lore in Emerald is good. It's very aggressive. This sits alongside things like Cheshire Cat and Carella Deville. It says, I'm going to quest. You can kill me quite easily, but I'm probably going to do nasty things to you on the way back. This is a 3/1 when quest into. It's basically opposite Challenger, which I find quite interesting that they don't necessarily haven't keyworded it. I thought maybe defensive or something like that. There might have been or riposte or something. There might have been a keyword there to suggest this, and maybe there will be later on. But right now it isn't. But basically, yes. If you challenge into this, it's a 3/1. I actually quite like that. Also, I love the deep cut. This is, for those of you who don't know, because a lot of people on Twitter didn't know. This is the Enchantress that enchants Beast and the house and the occupants of the castle when the prince doesn't sort of let her in or give her food or whatever it is they want. And so this is she's the one that puts the curse on the castle in Beauty and the Beast. Seen in the movie, I think just in like stained glass form in a dump of story at the beginning. So some deep cuts coming from Lorcana, and I'm totally here for it. Next up, 7-costed Inkable 5/9 for 2 lore, Cobra Bubbles. Storyborn Ally, rare card with art from Jake Parker. This is Triton, I think, in Amber, basically. I'm fine with big vanillas. I don't love the fact that they're rare, taking up rare slots. This is just, you're not going to be happy when you open this. Although, big butts in Amber are pretty good. This is going to be something that you can heal and then get card draw off all the other stuff we've seen. But again, at 7, I just want more happening than a body coming down. I don't know. 4-costed Inkable 3/3 for 2 lore, Mulan, reflecting a Floodborn hero princess. For a second then I thought I got really good at reading French, and then I remembered this one was in English. Shift with 2. Honor to the ancestors. Whenever this character quests, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a song card, you may play it for free. Otherwise, put it back on the top of your deck. Rare card with art from Sapphire Carella. I like this. It means we're going to get a smaller Floodborn, a smaller Mulan in Amber, I think, to be the target for her. I actually think this is pretty good. I think this goes into a song deck with Ariel. Obviously, the thing we need for this, and the thing we need for Ariel, I think, even though Amber Steel songs is very playable, we just need some better songs, especially in Amber. Steel, you're kind of covered. Grab Your Sword, A Whole New World, doing a hell of a lot of work, really great songs. Amber, though, I find in my Amber Steel deck that uses the sort of song package, I'm kind of just running some of them to kind of fill out the slot and make sure I hit the songs. Part of Your World's okay. Be Our Guest is okay, but they're not really helping with a win condition. They're just kind of keeping the cogs whirring and the engine's cooking, but there isn't really a payoff. And this is another one that isn't really a payoff, honestly, as well. Really, what I would love to see for that deck is a payoff for all of these songs. Every time you sing a song, you gain a lore or something like that. But as it stands still, I think this is a really good piece in that deck, and I think this will definitely find a home there. And then finally, this one dropped just a moment ago as I record this, a 2-costed Uninkable 1/1 for 3 lore in Amethyst Pinocchio Star Attraction. He's a rare card with art by Capik, and wow, 3 lore on a 1/1 for 2. He's pretty crazy. I don't necessarily think this is broken. It's certainly not power creep. I heard loads of people be like, "Oh, this is power creep." It isn't. Maleficent Biding Her Time is a 1-costed 1/1 for 2 lore. So for an extra lore, you pay an extra ink. That's just fine. I also don't necessarily think this is as good as Maleficent Biding Her Time in the same color, and obviously Lilo in Amber, just because obviously the longer the game goes on, the more answers your opponent has. If nothing else, Lilo and Maleficent can come out on turn 1, quest for 2 on turn 2, and then, hopefully gets tucked behind a Simba, or gets picked back up again, perhaps with one of the Madam Mim bouncers. This obviously wants to do a same kind of thing, but it is doing it a little later into the game, and the difference between turn 1 and 2, I think for something like this Rush card here that just wants to quest, is actually quite a big thing. But if this comes down and sticks, it's pretty gross. And also, I can see this being played later on when the board is a bit more established and there are other threats to deal with. You know, this also is pretty sort of offensive. So I think it's a good card. I don't think it's broken. I think it will probably see play, and I think it helps Amethyst because they have a little less in that lower end aggressive spot. There we go. Man, I think I rushed through those, but otherwise people moan that these videos get too long, and I'm about to go and do a 12-hour shift at work. I'm pretty sure I'll have another 10 cards to talk about by the time that's done. It's exciting stuff. It's a nice problem to have. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. We cover every single card revealed here, no matter where it's been pulled from and dredged from. I mean, these 11 were spread the hell out across the internet and across the world. So if you don't want to go and put the work in, you could just come here and I'll show them all off to you. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, be good.